Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world, one book at a time.
So today, we are diving into Toni Morrison's masterpiece, Beloved. See, this book reveals the institution of slavery as something way more than just a system of forced labor. It argues it was a system designed to get inside you, to reorganize your very soul, your memories, your love, your family. And when you look at it through that lens, you start to understand why the past, well, it doesn't just stay in the past. It's alive, it's breathing, and sometimes it comes back to haunt you.
Just listen to that. That's the very first sentence of the book. No setup, no context, you're just dropped right into this house. A house that's alive, that's angry, and filled with this poison from a dead child. It's such a powerful move, right? It's totally deliberate. Morrison wants you to feel just as lost and unsettled as the people who have to live there.
All right, so let's get our bearings. A ghost named Beloved. Where exactly are we? We're at a house, 124 Bluestone Road. The setting is post-Civil War Ohio. And living there is a woman named Seth, her daughter Denver, and this presence, a very active and very angry ghost.
The year is 1873. It's been 18 years since Seth escaped slavery, escaped a plantation ironically named Sweet Home. But, freedom, it's not a simple thing, is it? She might be physically free, but her house and her own mind, they're like occupied territory. They're completely haunted by the ghost of the baby daughter she lost.
And right there you realize this is so much more than just a ghost story. That baby's venom we heard about, it's not some poltergeist throwing things around. No way. It is the literal, physical manifestation of a memory. A memory so traumatic that it's already scared off Seth's two sons, made them run away for good. This is the past, literally made flesh.
Which really gets us to the core question, doesn't it? What is the real ghost haunting 124? Is it just the spirit of a child, or is that spirit actually a symptom of something way bigger? A ghost that was created by an entire system, a system that just refuses to stay dead and buried. And this is where we zoom out, the architecture of trauma. We're moving from just the story to the massive system that it exposes. Because Beloved isn't really about one woman's personal trauma. It's about the very architecture of that trauma. How it was designed, how it was built, by an entire institution.
And this is the absolute core of it all. The really insidious part of slavery wasn't just about controlling people's bodies for work. It was a psychological attack. It was designed to rip apart a person's inner world, to destroy family, to make love impossible, to completely shatter your own memories.
And listen, this is not a metaphor. Morrison is crystal clear about this. She's talking about a system where the simple act of being a parent, of loving and claiming your own child, that was literally a crime. Your kids weren't yours, they were property. So the system itself was built to break the most basic, most powerful human bond there is.
So how does anyone even begin to survive that? How do you live when your very soul has been targeted for destruction? Well, Morrison shows us these key patterns for how that trauma comes back. And it's not about remembering the past, it's about being forced to relive it.
First up, there's this concept Seth calls rememory. And this is not just, feeling nostalgic. No, this is the past jumping out and ambushing you in the present. It comes at you uninvited, all jumbled up. So Seth is trying so hard to push down the horrors of the plantation, but then her own mind betrays her. It flashes this image of beautiful trees, but those are the very same trees where she saw men being hanged. That's not a memory, that's like being possessed by the past.
Then you have this impossible situation, when loving your child is basically illegal. An act of love can get twisted into something violent. To stop her kids from being taken back into slavery, Seth makes a choice. She calls it a rough response. It's a choice so awful that everyone else calls it murder. But in her mind, it was the only way to protect them. The ultimate act of a mother's love.
So how do you even begin to heal from that? The book shows us it's not something you can do alone. The trauma is it's too big for one person to carry in silence. Real healing only starts when the community, when the women come together, they search for a sound, a feeling, something that goes beyond words to express the unspeakable. It's this collective voice, this powerful cry that can finally face the past and cast it out.
So we've got all these pieces: rememory, impossible choices, collective healing. How does it all connect? Morrison gives us this one perfect central metaphor that holds it all together: the house itself. Think about it. The house at 124 isn't just a place where the story happens. It's basically a living archive. It holds all the memories that its inhabitants have to push down just to survive, just to make it tomorrow. The house remembers for them. But because it does, they can never, ever truly get away.
And then, wow, Seth's mother-in-law, Baby Suggs, says something that just blows this whole idea wide open. She says, not a house in the country ain't packed to its rafters with some dead Negro's grief. And suddenly you realize this haunting isn't just about 124. It's in every house, all across the country. One family's private story becomes this huge national legacy of grief that's never been mourned.
So the house becomes the landscape of history, and its ghost? That's the past that refuses to die. By showing it to us this way, Morrison is making a really powerful point. History isn't just some dead thing in a textbook. It's a living, breathing presence that's right here with us, in the very spaces we live in. And so healing, well, it can't be about forgetting. It has to be about learning how to face the ghosts that are already here, and maybe even learning how to speak to them.
And that kind of leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? If our homes are vessels for history, packed with the memories of everyone who came before, what ghosts do we live with today? What unspoken histories are living in the walls all around you? What ghosts are we all living with right now?
For the full, long-form deep dive into this book and its ideas, follow the link in the description.
If you enjoy this kind of systems-level analysis, please like, subscribe, and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.